Visual Entertainment, I'm Rachel Smith. Well, the battery charges against rapper Cardi B have been dropped. A concert goer reported being hit by a mic being thrown from the stage of a Vegas club. Video shows it started with someone in the crowd splashing Cardi B with a drink, and Cardi responded by throwing her microphone at the person. Now, on Thursday, Las Vegas police announced the case was being closed for insufficient evidence and no charges against Cardi B will be filed. Well, King of Queens star Leah Remini is suing the Church of Scientology and its leader, David Miscavige. The legal filing alleges years of harassment, intimidation, and defamation. Remini's representatives say she is seeking a jury trial, damages, and an end to the alleged conduct. The actress, who is a former Scientologist, went on to produce and star an A&E documentary criticizing the church. Now, neither Miscavige or the church immediately responded to requests for comment on Thursday, but back in 2016, the church said many allegations in the show were false, and it accused the actress of, quote, promoting hatred and religious intolerance. Well, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was so touched by the story of one MMA fighter, he is giving back in a big way. So big, in fact, he's buying him a house. UFC welterweight Themba Gorimbo went from being an orphan in Zimbabwe to an illegal diamond miner at just age 16. After he won his second UFC fight in May, he revealed he only had around $7 in his bank account. The purse for his UFC win was $7,000, and he sent his entire winnings back to his village to pay for a water pump. Well, that act caught the attention of The Rock, who noted at one time he too struggled with just $7 in his bank account. In fact, that number is so significant, it's actually the name of The Rock's production company, $7 Production. Gorimbo says he'll now use the money he would have spent on housing to continue helping his village. Love seeing that. Well, Adidas has brought in $437 million from the first release of Yeezy sneakers. The first batch is left over from the partnership with Kanye West, and it sold out back in June. The second sale started August 2nd. Proceeds from the sale will be donated to groups like the Anti-Defamation League. The German sportswear maker is trying to offload the unsold shoes after the company ended its partnership with West last October, following West's anti-Semitic and offensive comments. Adidas says it has already donated more than 10 million euros and expects to give more than $100 million in donations. Well, there is a country music bop that is steaming up the charts because of its catchy melody and racy gay lyrics. Dallas Dixon says his hit song, Good Lookin', is a song you dedicate to your good buddies. Some of the lyrics, well, let's just say we can't repeat them on TV. Dallas Dixon is the alter ego of Alabama rapper Jake Hill. The LGBTQ+ community has embraced the song. Others, though, have accused him of queer baiting or making fun of gay people. Dixon says he won't publicly disclose his sexuality. Well, there is an art behind casting the perfect Hollywood movie, but that can be a little bit more difficult when we enter the world of reality and unscripted TV. The Advocate Channel's Tracy E. Gilchrist spoke with casting director Logan Clark about making that Hollywood casting magic happen.
When you're casting for unscripted, what does that look like? I mean, not being a casting director, I have a vision of like, okay, you're casting for scripted and you're looking for a certain actor, but then when it's unscripted, what does that look like?
It's what's the most exciting part about my job is that it looks different every day, from project to project to show. It's never a magic bullet, and I think that's the part that I get most, so fueled by and so excited by. It really goes back to what the vision is of the network, the producers. One thing that I do, which is a little bit atypical from a casting director's perspective, is I also co-EP a lot of shows. So I was awarded an opportunity with Fox many years ago to come on board and be their co-EP for I Can See Your Voice. And so for me, I now have this perspective of beyond the casting process. So what does the story look like? How does this performer or this piece of talent, how are we going to unpack this in front of the cameras beyond just the casting step? But it really goes back to what the creative is and what the vision is of the team. And then we start, putting the hooves to the pavement and going out and having conversations with people, whether it's a singing competition show, a cooking competition, whether it's a docuseries about, diverse female comedians.
Mhm.
We really have done a lot of a ton of variety within this space, which is
Yeah.
so amazing. And um, I think what's exciting is that it's always different. There's always a different approach. And we curate a team to accommodate that too. So for Legendary, for example,
Yeah.
it's the largest LGBT cast. Sorry, let me correct that. It was the largest Black cast and the largest trans cast, transgender cast in the history of television. So being able to be a part of that was so incredible and so rewarding, and to be able to tell those stories was pretty remarkable. But I wanted to make sure that the team that was going out to the marketplace to find these incredible individuals also reflected the community that we're going after. So, it's really important not only to find diversity and inclusivity in front of the camera, but for us to have that behind the scenes as well.
Mhm.
So it's just, it's a different process, different approach for every show. But at the end of the day, it sounds very cheesy, Tracy, but I really enjoy making people's dreams come true. It's a
I love
really,
that.
really, really remarkable moment when
Mhm.
somebody gets that call. We always record them on Zoom when we get to call them and say, "Hey, guess what? You're going into the show. You've made it. You're now going to be entering this competition." And just to see the genuine reactions, it's just amazing. From small town singers to
Uh-huh.
New York City Vogue dancers. It's been a really, really, really rewarding part of the job. It makes all of the other stuff that may be a little bit tough sometimes. That's the reward in it all, is to be able to make those phone calls and say, you're moving on. And what was great about Legendary is that it gave everybody an opportunity to say, you know what, we want you. We want to see your story unfold. We want to hear and see what you're up to. And it really changed a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't win the show, having the opportunity, you see now, for example, we've got Beyonce on her world tour with
Mhm.
several cast members from Legendary, which
Yeah.
is pretty incredible. So it is about the moment, but it's also about the opportunity that's unlocked beyond the show, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you for that. And then I wonder, you've spoken quite a bit about Legendary, but you there is also this kind of movement, or this kind of insurance, that other shows that kind of have a wider, maybe, swath of participants, but that there's also inclusion there in terms of queer people, people of color. And how do you ensure that that happens in a show that is maybe a little more, I'm not sure how I want to put it, but just like a little bit more of a wider lens.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we see this, on all of our network shows, whether it's ABC, Fox, CBS, NBC. What's great is that diversity and inclusion is not only a priority, it is just the way that everybody wants to move forward within the industry. And so it's so incredible to be able to say, okay, here are so many options, and it is from all walks of life. That's one of the biggest conversations we have when we start a show, is that, okay, so here's how we're going to divide the country. Here's how we're going to divide the communities, and making sure that we have equal opportunity for every single person that walks in our virtual front door, if you will. But it is really, really, really exciting to be able to continue to offer opportunities for every person, no matter what their background is, whatever their race or sexual orientation. It's about, this is a singing competition.
Mhm.
And we did a show for Fox, Alter Ego. It was the world's first Avatar singing competition, which it's beast in itself. But one
Yeah.
of the most incredible parts was that we had a drag performer as one of the top 20 contestants that made it to air, and to have somebody represent that community
Mhm.
on a national platform, and one of the four major broadcasters. I mean, that was huge. That was huge, and that
Mhm.
individual's life was just forever changed by the opportunity to share their talent, their voice, and
Mhm.
their story.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today for Equal Entertainment. You can watch the Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. And of course, you can also check out our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Rachel Smith. Have a great rest of your day.